Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday, also known as Almost Friday. My name is Howard Pinsky, Senior XD Evangelist here at Adobe, and welcome to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge, day number 3. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, wherever it is you are in the world. I am streaming live from kind of cold and possibly a little bit snowy Los Angeles, just north of Los Angeles. It snowed this morning. Crazy. If you are joining us live on Behance, let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from, and maybe if it's snowed in your part of the world. We got Vladair and Tim, one of our awesome moderators. Gusbot is in the house. I saw Lee a little bit earlier. Anzi and Monir and Anmon. I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Michael Crabtree, one of our awesome guests from last week, is here. Chia and Andy. A lot of familiar faces that I've seen in Slack, on Twitter, and Adobe Live, and a lot of new people as well. Jennifer and May and Kiki. A lot of people. Yeah, Michael, it kind of snowed, not in LA, but we're a little bit north in the mountains, so it's a little bit colder over there. And Raul, yeah, it probably is not going to snow in Florida. But maybe one day, who knows? So I hope you're all doing well. We're going to kick off day 3 of the Adobe XD Daily Challenge, and hopefully by now you've kind of caught the gist of what we're doing. I'm going to just spill the beans, right? So previously in the XD Daily Challenges, what we've done is, hey, Natasha from Ontario and Toronto, my hometown. I need to go back. So previously what we've done is every challenge has been something different, and it could be drastically different. But what we're doing this time is we're kind of tying everything together. So as you've probably caught by now, over the next 2 weeks and minus a few days, we're going to be designing a music app. And we started from the beginning. We started with a design system on Tuesday. We did a little bit of low fidelity wireframes yesterday, and then today, I'll get into in a second, we're going to kind of define the user flow. And of course, as you're designing and defining some of this stuff, things are going to change, right? So let me hop over to my schedule for just a second to kind of go over what's going on this week. So we're kicking off the day at 8:30 in the morning Pacific time with me. I'm doing the Daily Creative Challenge. And we have Anna right after this at 9 o'clock sitting down with Paul doing a lot of cool Photoshop stuff. Andrew's going to be with Ashley at 11, and then Sasha back with Paul at 1 o'clock. So there's a lot of really cool Photoshop and design stuff that you'll definitely want to tune in for if you're into Photoshop, and who isn't into Photoshop. So what are we doing today? So here's the Daily Creative Challenge landing page, behance.net/Daily Creative Challenge. Easy to remember. Doesn't snow in Kenya, that's for sure. If you haven't yet, hit that big blue button right at the top so you're notified. You can register. You get notifications when we release new challenges. 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time every single day. You're going to receive a challenge. And then 8:30 in the morning, bright and early, or maybe late wherever you are. I saw someone from India saying that it was nighttime over there. And I'll be here at 8:30 in the morning, kind of kicking things off for the day. And then your task is to design and prototype whatever that theme might be using Adobe XD. And then you're going to share it with the keyword XD Daily Challenge. And I want to stress sharing this keyword because I've seen a lot of really cool design systems and prototypes on Slack being shared in the feedback section, but I wasn't able to find it on Behance. And if I go over to search and I search XD Daily Challenge and I sort it by most recent, we have a bunch over here, but I have noticed that there are some in Slack that aren't appearing here because the keyword wasn't used. So definitely make sure to use that keyword. Back on this page, you have until March 1st to complete some of those entries. Again, it's okay if you don't complete them all by March 1st because this is really there to build up your portfolio, learn new skills, maybe learn XD for the first time. So, maybe take a few extra days to really polish up that stuff. Grab XD for free. Join us in Slack, and Slack is always fun. It's always popping. Here's the announcements section. Here's introductions. 13,813 people. We almost have 14,000 people. That's insane. You can ask questions, you can chat, you can get feedback, and if you are asking for feedback, be specific. Ask, if you want feedback on your colors or your character styles, let us know. We have some great mentors, including Zach and Chris and Peter. I always forget Peter's name. I hosted him on Adobe Live. We're good friends. I forget his name all the time. So ask for feedback, and then, if you get feedback, give feedback. Kind of, pass it along. or pay it forward, whatever you want to call it. And on Friday, during Talon, actually that's tomorrow, during Talon's noon stream, he's going to be reviewing some of this stuff. So that's going to be kind of cool. So what are we doing today? Well, if I scroll down here, here's our templates for the week so far. And today we are going to be defining the user flow, design a user flow for the mobile music player app. Focus on the user experience as you wire together the artboards from day 2's challenge. So make sure to grab the template and let's hop over to Adobe XD. Here we are. So here is today's template, again, provided by the amazing Marissa Blair. If you do see her in chat or on Slack, definitely say hi, definitely say thank you. She is amazing. So here we go. Day 3. Again, you're going to be defining, it's early, I can't talk. Defining a user flow for your mobile app. And hopefully by now you have kind of defined the design system, or at least most of the design system for the app. And just to kind of reference, here's currently my design system. It's not as in-depth as some of yours, which, by the way, we've seen some really cool design systems come in. This one is from Angela. I'll just very quickly scroll through. I love the colors on this system. Looks really nice. And then we have this one from Vincent. This one is the low fidelity, which we did yesterday. And it's important to really start with low fidelity and not jump straight to high fidelity, because that could cause some problems. And if I kind of talked about that yesterday, you can go back and watch that. So Vincent did some nice detailed low fidelity designs. And then Heather, one of our awesome regulars, another design system with some really cool gradients. I'm excited to see how this one turns out. Nice icons, nice buttons, nice stuff. And then this one is different, and I'm really interested to see where this one goes. There's a lot going on here, but I'm gonna be following this one and see what the final result looks like. Anyways, okay, back to Adobe XD. So this is the kind of the design system I'm working off of, and here's what we're gonna be doing today. So here is an example user flow, very simple. You don't have to go super crazy, but this is one that Marissa put together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this one and paste it in my document that contains my low fidelity artboards, because I'm going to also be wiring some of this stuff up to kind of give us an idea of what things look like when they are wired up and a little, moving a little bit. So I'm going to paste it somewhere right around here. Let me just move it. And now we want to start defining what our user flow looks like. And every app's user flow is going to be a little bit different. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just jump in here. I can grab this text layer, copy it, and let's paste it over here. And this will be the login. Or is this sign up? What did Marissa have? Sign up, right, okay. This is sign up. Sign up. And let me know if you're watching live on Behance, what the most important feature or screen is going to be on your mobile app. Throw it in the chat and let us know. So this is going to be login. And again, every user flow is going to be different, and it might also look different. So some people just open a text document and just start typing down the page. Some people like this hierarchy, but it's really up to you how things are going to look. So once you log in, you're going to go to your home screen, and this will be currently the way I have mine set up. Let me actually move this over a little bit so we can see. Let me actually pop it right here. There we go. So currently we have like an album view on the login screen or the home screen. And then possibly, if you forgot your password, then you kind of fall into a loop and you have to go back, right? So the home screen, you can go to possibly an album view or playlist. There we go. And I'm going to just copy this, move this over just like that. And maybe I'll put this one. I'll do this. Let's do this. User flows are not very fun to design, but they're super necessary, especially when you're designing a product. I'm going to put forgot password here, because login, so you can go home, and then from home you can also view. Let's copy this. There we go. I hate it when I forgot my passwords too in L. So after home, you're going to go, let's say you can view an album. Helps if I spell correctly. Album, there we go. Hey, Brianna, welcome. So there's playlists, and then from playlists, you can also go to search. So you can search for playlists, you can search for albums, and you can also play a playlist. That would be good. Copy these, move this over here. Play song. Hopefully you're getting the idea at this point. And basically this, you know, all loops back. So from search, you can go to playlist, you can go home, you can go to the albums, and that sort of thing. So we have a very basic user flow going on. And of course, as we continue to design this mobile app, you're going to probably have to go back to your user flow, make some tweaks, and you know, define it even more. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. And what we're going to do, we're going to start wiring some of this stuff up. So, you know, we have the splash screen, and then we have a login screen. So what we can do, we can hop into prototype mode right up here at the top. And let's say when someone presses the login button, it's going to go to this login screen. So all we have to do is grab this blue handle to the right and simply drag it down to the artboard at the bottom. This is going to be a tap trigger because we want a user to be able to tap on that login button. It's going to take them somewhere. We're going to have a basic transition. We're not going to do too much with AutoAnimate at the moment because for low fidelity and user flows, you probably don't want to get too crazy with AutoAnimate. We'll have it, let's say we'll do a slide to the, we'll slide to the left. And then we'll do an in and out, 0.4 seconds. Keep it, you know, fairly quick. And when I press play and I press login, we're now directed to our login screen. And then from there, assuming that someone puts in the correct email address and password, we'll do the exact same thing. So we'll click on the login button, drag this up to this home screen here. It's going to retain those properties from the previous wire. And now if we preview this, it takes us to our home screen. And now on this screen, we may want to do a little bit of AutoAnimate, a little bit of drag, just to kind of show that these cards can be moved around a little bit, right? So I'm going to duplicate this artboard downwards, and you can duplicate it to the left, to the right, wherever you want to duplicate, as long as it's organized in your mind. I'm going to grab this and simply just move it over, just like that. And this is the cool thing about AutoAnimate in Adobe XD is all you have to do is design, right? So what I can do is I can just select this repeat grid at the top, drag the handle to the second artboard, and instead of a tap trigger, it's going to be a drag trigger for this time. And we will want AutoAnimate so it can actually animate. And now if I play it and I just click and drag over, we now have a little drag effect. Perfect. Now from this screen, we can actually start wiring up some of these navigation bars, navigation items at the bottom. So playlists, we might want to go over here. We'll do a tap trigger and we'll do a transition. We'll also do slide left. We'll do the same thing down here, slide over there. And for home, we'll wire this back over here. And as you start getting into this, it gets much quicker. You can just grab handles, drag them around, and really start to define that user flow super quickly. There's a few more things that we might want to create that we didn't create yesterday, and a search screen might be one of them. So I'm going to grab my artboard tool, and let's go ahead and grab an iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus artboard. There we go. I'm going to hop over to my design system where I have this search box at the top. I'm going to grab that, and it is a symbol as indicated by the green outline around it. So if I make changes on this document, it's also going to update or notify me that there's an update on any of my other documents. And if you missed the talk about symbols and how those work, definitely watch the first 2 videos in this series. It'll help you quite a bit. So I'm going to paste this in here, pop this at the top, somewhere right around there. That looks good. I'm going to grab my navigation bar, pop that in. I'll move my lovely little indicator over to search. Make it a little bit smaller so it fits. Beautiful. And now we need some content. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our text tool. We're going to just type in, let's say, recent searches. And I do have my character styles in place, so I can grab, let's say, this one here, pop that right there. Great. And then underneath, we might want a few searches. So this will just be search result. And maybe that'll be 18. That one looks okay. And I might want a highlight color. Beautiful. Now to make this super quick, I'm going to simply grab these two, actually just grab this one, Command and Control R, and just add a few down the page, just like this. Beautiful. And then I can grab these and just duplicate them. And this could be, let's say, trending searches. I'll make sure to align that to the left. Whoops. Trending searches. Great. So now we have a very basic search screen looking good on our page. I may want to move that down just a little bit, just to kind of ease things into place. That looks good there. So we have a search screen. Now we can go back into prototype mode and make sure everything is wired up. Again, it retains the properties, nothing too, because we're still at the low fidelity stage, so we're not going too crazy with this. But we do want to make sure that everything's wired up, everything's looking good, and everything's making sense, right? Perfect. So let's see how things are looking. If we go back to the first artboard, press play, we can log in, drag this back and forth, right? And we can click on playlists, click on search. And I didn't wire that one up, so this is the importance of testing. You always want to make sure things are wired up. Home. Now I'm noticing I don't have ease in and out selected, so I'm going to make sure to go back and do that. Make sure everything is nice and consistent. Perfect. All right, how do these look? In and out. Okay, and this one, in and out. And finally, there we go. So let's see this one more time. I'm going to drag this over. Playlists, beautiful. Search, back to playlists, home. Fantastic. Now, of course, I'm looking at this and some of the transitions don't make 100% sense, especially if you're going backwards in the navigation. You might want those screens to go the other way. So I can just hop in and then let's say change this to slide right, and we'll do slide right as well. So now if I'm on this screen and I go to search, it'll slide left, but if I go back to playlists, it'll slide right. And you want to make sure you're kind of consistent and things are making sense. So this can be slide right as well. Perfect. All right. Now, what we might want to do is we might want to have a keyboard slide up from the bottom once we get to this search screen, right? So what we can do at that point is we can just grab a keyboard from one of the UI kits. So if you go up to the File menu, go down to Get UI Kits, and go to either Apple or Google or whatever, many of them have keyboards enabled. So let me actually hop over to Finder, and I'm going to very quickly find that UI kit. Bear with me for just a second while my computer lags. And we've got our iPhone. There it is. So it is loading. Here is the iPhone 678 UI kit. There we go. And we've got some keyboards at the bottom. So what I'm able to do is I'm simply able to just grab this keyboard, copy it. I'm going to go back over here, create a new artboard. There we go. Paste that in there. I'm going to unlink it and just make it a little bit bigger. And the cool thing about using overlays, which I'll show you in a second, is you don't need an entire keyboard. You can just have just an artboard containing just the keyboard and nothing else. Perfect. So now that I have this, I'm going to make sure to name this keyboard. And I might want to go back to my user flow and actually make sure that this is updated. Perfect. Now if I go over here, what I'm able to do is set up a time transition, because what I want at this point is when somebody lands on the search screen, after a certain amount of time, in this case 0 seconds, it's going to automatically pop up a keyboard from the bottom. So in prototype mode, I'm going to select the entire artboard, and this I'm going to name search. And it's good to note that the time transitions are only available when you have entire artboard selected. So with that artboard selected, I'm going to grab the handle to the right, drag it over to this keyboard. It's going to be a tap trigger. And instead of transition or AutoAnimate, I do want to select overlay. And this will allow me, overlay. There we go, not speech playback. And let me drag this over. Overlay. Perfect. And this will allow me to move this anywhere I want, but I can also just choose slide up And it's going to automatically place it at the bottom because it assumes that if it's sliding up, it's kind of going to rest at the bottom. But you can just grab this and move this anywhere you want. And then we might want an in and out. Let's do a very quick 0.2 seconds, right? And yes, you're right, Andy, time. I even said that. I even said time, but I chose tab. Delay is 0 seconds. Beautiful. Let's see how this works. So let's assume that you're on the playlist screen. You press play, and then you're going to go to search. Watch what happens. So it's going to go to that artboard, and automatically a keyboard is going to slide up from the bottom. And then you can go ahead and make some tweaks. Maybe that's a little bit too fast, so maybe it'll go back to 0.4 seconds. See how this is looking? That looks pretty good. And then the user is able to search, or they can go back if they want to. But I'm noticing that I don't really have a way to go back from this screen. Because if you're on this and this is hiding the navigation bar, there's a few things you can do. You can either change the overlay, right? So that it kind of goes right above the navigation bar. Search, and that'll allow you to see that navigation bar. Doesn't make too much sense, and then you can kind of go back. Or you can start adding back buttons and things like that, which we don't have at the moment. So let me do that. I might want a simple back button. So I'm going to ungroup this symbol, or what I can do is actually go back to my design system, and this is going to show you the power of a design system. Because it's a symbol, I can just go like this. Let me select all of this, and there we go, got it. Just drag this in just a little bit. And I do have a back icon here. I'm going to grab that, make sure I'm in the symbol, paste it. Perfect. So this will be part of that symbol now. Make sure it's 16 pixels from the side. Make some quick changes to this. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to save this, and you're noticing at the top, it is saving right now. Come on, Wi-Fi, there he goes. And if I go back here to my low fidelity artboard, you're gonna notice that we have a blue icon at the top left. And if I go over here, I can actually hover over to preview what that change is gonna look like. And if I like it, I can just simply press Update All, and now I have a back button. And Heather, I beat you to it. And that's kind of really the importance of going low fidelity at the beginning, because you don't really know what problems you're going to run into. And if you're doing high fidelity from the start, you're going to realize that you're missing back buttons, or you're missing whatever it might be. And it's often harder to update high fidelity designs, or at least more time consuming to update high fidelity designs than it is low fidelity. So things are looking they're not looking terrible. They're not looking great, but I'm definitely going to make some changes after this stream to make things look a little bit better. But once we get to the high fidelity stuff, it's going to look a little bit nicer. And then I can go in and change that keyboard again so it's right at the bottom. Perfect. And then make sure to no repeat grids today. Well, I did do a repeat grid, but I forgot to boop. I apologize. So let me do this. I'll go back. I can just click on this, and it's kind of cool. So depending on where you are in your screens, you can just tap on the back button. It'll be tap. And you'll just want to choose transition and previous artboard, right? And it'll go back to the previous artboard that it's on. So if I'm here, I press play, search, I can do the back button, and it automatically goes back to playlist. And if I was on, let's say, the home screen, I go search, I use the back button, it goes back to the home screen, which is kind of cool. So that will wrap it up for today's stream. Again, your task is to define a user flow based on your low fidelity artboards. And I'm really excited to see what fancy user flows you all design. Let me hop back over to here for a second. And yeah, make sure to upload this stuff to Behance so we can find it. Use that keyword XD Daily Challenge. And I will be back tomorrow morning with another part of, and you never know what it'll be, but another part of this music mobile player app, whatever you want to call it. And stick around. Paul Tranny and Anna are coming up in just a few minutes with a lot of really cool Photoshop stuff. I will see you all tomorrow morning.
for you, honey. You reach for me.